Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was the UN Security Council session on the unblocking and the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. The UN have voted on watered-down resolution to open the Strait of Hormuz. Russia and China are key. The draft resolution prepared by Bahrain and supported by the United States. China vetoed Bahraini resolution to coordinate efforts to protect the commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The vote 11 in favor, 2 against the 2 and 2 abstentions. The UN Security Council on Tuesday have voted on the resolution calling for the unblocking of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran have earlier imposed an effective blockade on the critical waterway since the United States and Israel have launched the war on the 28th of February, sending ripple effects throughout the global economy. The Security Council have adopted a strong resolution against Tehran in mid of March, condemning its blocking of the Strait of Hormuz. The UN Security Council voting on the resolution aimed at reopening of the Strait of Hormuz that have been repeatedly watered down because of the opposition of Russia and China. However, it remains unclear whether they are the Bahrain have actually proposed the resolution and ask for this session, and for the GCC saying that the GCC have always been abiding by the UN resolutions, and that's why the GCC and the session is called on by Bahrain. The vote is just hours before the 8 p.m. Eastern deadline that is set by U.S. President Donald Trump for Iran to open the strategic waterway or face the attacks on power plants and on the bridges and also the infrastructure in Iran. 1/5 of the world's typically passes through the strait, and Iran's stronghold during the war have sent energy prices scaring. It's doubtful the resolution, even if adopted, would impact, of course, the war, and now in its 5th week. The war, 37 days have passed on the war, or 38 days. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening, how are you?
How are you, sir? Well, Your Excellency, we were following now for 2 hours the UN Security Council session called on by Bahrain, and the UN is voting on watered-down resolution to open the Strait of Hormuz. How did you follow the session?
I am following it hopeless, without hope, because in the Security Council, you know, that the veto of the United States is there to stop any resolution which we may need. So not very optimistic there. And in general, we are suffering since decades from the veto in the Security Council, which was badly used against every single way of justice. The international way of justice is stopping by this silly practice. So the war will continue, or at least the war will continue until countries in the weight of Egypt and Pakistan, and also there are other Arab countries and friendly countries are trying to find a way out which will suit every party of this conflict. But I am not optimistic because, after all, the Prime Minister of Israel is officially a war criminal. He is requested by the International Court of Law, the International Court of Crimes also. So if the war stops, he will be put in jail immediately. Even the justice system in his own country is calling him to abide to the trial concerning some claims against him. We don't know. Number two is the military industry. They sold by billions of dollars in the last 2 years, so they do not want any war to stop. Third, that I cannot have a confidence in what the American president will do in the next 1 hour, because he says something, next hour he's saying the opposite, after consulting, of course, the people, the wise people around him in the Foreign Office or in the Pentagon. But the problem is that he talks without listening to his advisors. So we have to live with this. And of course, the international justice system is stopping because of all of these problems which we have around us.
Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador Bayoumy said that you are not optimistic. Aren't we expecting any breakthrough or any change in the coming hours as the deadline is looming?
Yes. I think the only hope in some few points like that the Palestinian resistance is still continuing, and the Palestinians do not leave their country. They stick to their land and they will never leave it. On the opposite, now we have what we call the opposite migration from Jewish citizens from Israel to their own original countries, whether it's Germany or France, and 500,000 Israelis left the country. Another piece of hope that Israel cannot continue the war for long. It's not a big country. Israel is too small to continue a war more than 10 days because it is relatively a small number of people. Third, that there are the Egyptian diplomacy, and our president is talking to all his counterparts who are concerned to find a sort of solution to this problem, even to the Iranian president. And this may lead to a small light of hope that we can bring back the talks to negotiation instead of committing this civil war without reason.
Yes. Yes. Actually, during the UN session now, Russia and China are key speakers, and the draft resolution prepared by Bahrain and supported by the United States, China have vetoed a Bahraini resolution to coordinate the efforts to protect the commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Actually, Your Excellency, Ambassador Bayoumy, the vote 11 in favor and 2 against and 2 abstentions. How did you follow the result of the vote?
It shows the complication of the matter, because nobody really votes according to his real interest, but he is facing a case-by-case solution. So I cannot count on this at all. Let us wait and see until there is a sort of breakthrough concerning this halaga. It is a very complicated situation, and I cannot judge after this voting in the Security Council. Let us hope that some wise people would come to advise everybody to go again to the negotiation table, especially that even the American public opinion is not happy with what is going on. Even the ruling party is not happy with their president. So let us wait and see. We have, I think, it is wise enough to wait for a couple of days again. But the navigation in Hormuz, it should be, of course, open because it is the sea of everybody. It's not Iran, but Iran can poison the situation, like what Yemen and Hussein in Yemen did against the navigation in the Red Sea. Badr Abdul Ati, our foreign minister, told us a couple of days ago that the revenue of Suez Canal is affected by 60% less because of this attacks against the ships navigating in Bab el-Mandab navigation.
Yes, sir. Your Excellency, Ambassador Bayoumy, China's representative said during the session now that China did not condemn the closure of or the restricted passage of ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and yet China is against the any use of opening the or any use of force to open the Strait of Hormuz. How did you read this?
This is a political position, of course. I don't think that China, in a normal situation, would object free navigation in the Hormuz. But their point is, and I totally understand, that Iran cannot reach the territories of the United States. So they are doing whatever they can by bombing the American bases in the Gulf. And of course this is wrong because it hits also civilian targets in the Gulf states.
Yes.
And they're stopping as much as they can navigation in the Hormuz. Here you can understand the position of China, because what they are defending not the navigation, but they are saying that Iran has nothing to do except this and that against the United States.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Your Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, former Assistant Foreign Minister, really had the pleasure to have this phone with you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aman Mukhtar. I had the pleasure to be with you. And please stay tuned for more updates on Nile TV International as the news is coming up in minutes.